Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So over the seasons of The Flash, we've had a decent amount of characters who have come and gone, and that haven't really been brought back into the fray of things, in later seasons on the show. Sure, they may be referenced in passing and just like, oh, remember that dude? But they aren't referenced in any major way outside of that. They aren't like a key piece to something that's, happening in the current day on the show after they depart the show. And to be honest, myself and I think many of you would have thought the same with Nora West Allen, aka the speedster known as XS, or, Barry and Iris' daughter from the future. She was pretty much the main character last season, but of course she was erased from the timeline due to, changes that she was tricked into doing by Eobard Thawne. But she hadn't really been brought back or referenced heavily outside of the opening episode this season. Mentioned, but just not referenced heavily. So it seemed they were moving on from her for the most part. However, as we saw at the end of the most recent episode of The Flash that we watched exactly a week ago from when this video will go out, Nora's journal is back, the one she was carrying in both Season 4 and Season 5 and writing in, and it's back in a major way. It is back in order to help Barry create a new Speed Force, and it is using the information that she gained off the resident of the negative Speed Force, that of course being Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash. But in this video, we're going to be going over the specifics of all of that and some other stuff as well. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your various opinions on this. Would you like to see Nora back? Do you have any theories on how she could come back outside of what I talk about? Leave all of your various opinions in the comment section down below. Intrigued to read and see what you guys have to say. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support and excitement and just support. That's the best way. So as I was saying, at the end of the latest episode of The Flash, Barry revealed to Caitlin and Cisco his plan as to how he is going to deal with the whole death of the Speed Force we once knew and create a brand new one for himself and potentially other speedsters to tap into. And this is through the journal that Nora, his daughter, left behind. Now, as we know, there is quite a bit in Nora's journal. I wonder if all of that will be in the, or I wonder if all of it will be in like the symbols that Nora used to log certain events, or there'll just be some proper writing. Who knows? Of course, Sherlock decoded it last season, so I guess if they needed to, they could decode it. But then again, did Sherlock exist on Earth Prime with the technical? I don't know. That's a bit confusing. I guess that's an issue to, approach when we get to that point, I guess. But within that journal, of course, would most likely be a formula or at least a solution to a new Speed Force, and it will, along with Nora, be assisted by Reverse Flash. Like, he obviously came up with it, as he, of course, was the one who taught Nora everything, and she recorded all of it. Now, in regards to how exactly it has worked out, you would have to think it is through some form or sort of science experiment or just formula in general that Reverse Flash has given Nora, with the potential addition that Nora has given her own 2 cents in how to make it a bit more of a positive Speed Force rather than the negative Speed Force of Reverse Flash, which shouldn't be too hard seeing he runs off hate. Barry would just need to do the opposite, run off love or positive stuff, so yeah. But the big question that comes with Nora's journal being brought into this season at this point is whether, along with it, Nora herself will show up in some form. Whether it be flashbacks to possible events between her and Eobard Thawne from last season and, when she was younger that we didn't see last season, that it sort of explained the stuff that will be explored in the journal throughout the episode, that goes over the construction of this new Speed Force. So it could be like another scene with them in prison, them talking. They might do it in a different... Oh, I guess that's the only setting they could do it, I guess. But they could do something like that where it's just another conversation that we didn't get to see. They could just do something like that. Or it could be that she just appears as herself, potentially in that new Speed Force because, she's dead. So I guess that'd be another... I guess that maybe might be the only way she could physically appear in present day, if that makes sense. It could almost be like a take on Runaway Dinosaur, that they're stuck in this new Speed Force. And, Nora, Barry's daughter, is sort of replacing Nora, Barry's mother in this situation. And there is actually some interesting stuff to talk about now that sort of points to her actually returning in a physical form on the show, not just mentioned. So a while back, about a month and a half ago, I think it was roughly, and I'm sure a couple or maybe even a decent amount of you saw this as well, but a handful of the Flash cast held an Oscars viewing party, obviously on the night of the night of the Oscars, sorry. Now, the actors who play Wells, so Tom Cavanagh, Cecile, who's Danielle Nicolette, Iris, obviously Candice Patton, and I think Cisco, Carlos Valdez were there. But also in attendance was none other than Jessica Parker Kennedy, who plays Nora West Allen, or played Nora West Allen. Now, I'm not 100% sure in regards to where Jessica's family lives. I know for a fact she wasn't raised in Vancouver, where they film the shows, but her family could live there. But some of you have told me they do, some have said they don't, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But I know for a fact that Jessica Parker Kennedy doesn't live there. She lives in LA. So for her to be in Vancouver, she would have to either be there for work, or if potentially her family lives there, she'd be there to visit them. She wouldn't have gone all the way to Vancouver just to watch the Oscars. And also, it's important to remember they were filming an episode at that time, so these actors were coming from set. So I think the thing that people know that this was happening was, I think Candice Patton literally finished filming and then went straight to this thing, and that's when it was revealed that Jessica Parker Kennedy was there, and then photos were uploaded later. So they were filming an episode this time, so it wasn't like a break day or something like that. Now, the upcoming episode, the one with Ragdoll in the promo, I'm sure most of you have seen it, that was filmed in mid to late January, so in basically like the second last week of January, while the Oscars were on at the beginning of February, I think February 8th or 9th. So if Nora were to appear physically in an episode and she is to return, it does look like it will be in episode 17, which is otherwise entitled Liberation. We know that now. And if, we're stretching it even further, maybe 18. I say maybe 18 as that's the episode that Godspeed and Pied Piper are back. It's called Pay the Piper. And we had those Godspeed and Pied Piper set photos come out on the 14th of February. But they do go from episode to episode without breaks a decent amount. It's not like an odd thing for them to film episodes literally straight up back to back without a break. And having Nora in the same episode as those two characters does seem like it might be too much going on. So 17 definitely seems like the most likely time for her to appear based off, when she was actually in Vancouver and the episode, filming schedule. However, she could have been for Vancouver to film for 16 as well and just not had a photo taken. Obviously, the only reason we know she was in Vancouver was because of this Oscars viewing party. She's not that active on social media in regards to posting where she is, so no one would have really known if we didn't have these photos that she was even in that city. So if I did have to give a prediction or a possibility for her, the likelihood of her return, at this stage I would just give it a clean 50-50 because I'm not 100% certain that she is in the episode, but I'm not 100% certain that she's not because she was there. She has no other jobs booked up based off her IMDb, and it wouldn't just update that she's on The Flash. So I don't know. The fact that she was there makes me think she's on The Flash, but it just matters, I guess, on family and stuff like that. But what's happening in the episode, it lines up with her coming back in some way, shape, or form, even if it's only for like a 5-minute scene. So yeah, I'm still going to keep it 50-50, even though I think it's actually maybe like 60-40, 60 being her actually coming back. So yeah. Now, Eric Wallace isn't actually that big of a fan of Nora as a character from what has been said, but if her return worked in regards to the story and everything like that, then bringing her back makes sense, and I don't think Eric Wallace would really debate that too much, and it's actually a smart move, especially for those that really like the character, and when you bring back a speedster and just any other character from the past, regardless of, I guess, what people thought of the character, it's still like an exciting moment because it's something new while not being new, if that makes sense. But I am intrigued to see how they implement her if she is in the episode. Like, personally for me, I don't mind seeing Nora back. I thought she was an okay character. Not amazing. She was just on screen way too much last season. But yeah, I'm sort of in that line of thinking that would be most likely with Eric Wallace, where if it serves the story, it's not just randomly put in there, then I'm all for it. Because I think it will work based off what we know so far. But to finish off the video, I thought I'd answer a couple of you guys' questions. So if you have any questions that you want put in videos, feel free to let me know them in the comment section down below. But the first one comes from Diacom. He asks, do you feel like the show needs to drop the whole Team Flash thing and focus more on Barry / the Flash character like the comics do? I feel like the show's been mostly about the team and not Barry. I want a season 1 filling and I'm just not as excited to watch the show anymore. It pretty much comes down to the fact that Barry's not an idiot. He's not a rookie anymore. There's really not much development you can do with Barry as a character, but you can develop the other characters on Team Flash. And it's not the comics. It's a TV show. It's an adaptation. If the show, and I'm telling you this is a fact. I'm telling you this is a fact. I'm not trying to say, oh my god, no, the show does it perfect. The show does a lot of things that aren't that great. But then there's a lot of things that are really well done. The way that the show is structured in regards to the team is the way that the show needs to be done. It needs to have a Team Flash. Barry has to interact with people. It would be so boring. I'm telling you, it would be so boring if it was just Barry. Even if it was just Barry and Iris, because he wouldn't be able to interact with Iris that much. Having Team Flash just allows Barry to interact with someone and makes Barry a more enjoyable character. Trust me, it's the way it needs to go. In a movie, they don't do it because it's such a short runtime. But in a TV show, there's so many episodes, there's so much hours of television. Barry needs to interact with someone. It'd be so weird if it was just him there with that many episodes. Keshav wrote, is Black Flash gone? We have no idea. I'm wondering if they're going to actually go over that in an episode, because we don't know if Zoom actually even became Black Flash in this Earth Prime timeline. So there's a lot of question marks in regards to just past villains and what happens to them. Did Savitar die the way he happened? Did Savitar even happen? Who knows? So maybe next season or something on The Flash, they actually go over that, like villains of the past. Did they happen? Did they not? We'll have to wait and see. And the last question comes from Shravan, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Do you think they should decrease the quantity of the episodes to 15 and focus more on the quality of the show, as there are many episodes without any CGI to save the budget? It depends. Like, I think it just depends what the story is. Like, you're going to get some seasons where a 20-plus episode season suits the show. Like this season needed to be 20-plus episodes. But then like a season like last season, or even like season 4, where a shorter season would have helped it more. So it really depends on what the story is. I don't think necessarily, like, you know, the CGI is anything to talk about, because I've said this before, some of the most interesting stuff in the Flash comics is when it's just the Flash doing stuff normally. He's not no big CGI battles. He uses speed, but the speed costs no money to do on the show. It's the biggest stuff that really eats up the budget. So I don't know. As I said, it's really like dependent on what the story is. Whether, you know, a shorter season would have worked well. This season, I think it's going to work well. It could have worked well potentially with the 20-plus episodes. Obviously, we don't know if we're going to get those last 2 episodes or not. But yeah, it's just dependent and relative to what's going on. So it's a hard question to actually give a yes or no answer to. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know your various opinions in the comments section down below and all that. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.